driven to keep an old promise, whatever the cost, trapped in a besieged city, hunted by foes within and without, tormented by a dark shaman using the spirits of those he has slain. Orhan Timur, the Snow Leopard, is brought to bay. Can he escape the imprisoning walls of Shira, Yulun? Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Himbar, and today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Dariel Quiogue's Walls of Shira, Yulun. I'm not entirely sure I'm pronouncing that right. It might be Walls of Shira Yulun or Yulun or something like that. But anyways, that is the name of the book. This is actually an upcoming novella published by Brackenberry Books as a double-edged book, which means it is actually in one book has two novellas. You'll see a picture here in a minute that kind of gives you a better idea what this looks like. The other one being Waste Flowers by Bryn Hammond. Kind of like the old Ace Doubles, if you've ever seen one of those. I did receive an ARC for both of these. I'll be reviewing Waste Flowers here soon. But anyways, let's get into the review. This in particular is from Quiogue's character, Orhan Timur, that has had several stories featuring him. But this is the longest one yet. And you could start here, I feel like. I don't see why not after reading this. The story starts right into the action. Orhan being woken by the sound of a horse's hooves. A shaman is harassing him, sending wolves for his first challenge. And he's in the desert, right? Wolves shouldn't really be there. And he's between the steppe and the Mongolian Empire. And this is a secondary world, but it's one based off the world around the real steppes of northern Asia, but also, mountains, jungles. And it's pretty much Mongolian inspired. The other novella in this double edge feature is also Mongolian inspired sword and sorcery. Our hero is Orhan Timur, who is the Snow Leopard. He's betrayed by the Steppe King in the past. He's pretty much the idea that I've seen passed around before is, what if Genghis Khan, right, at Orhan here, had a blood brother who betrayed him? And this all reminds me of historical adventure writer Harold Lamb. And I've heard Quiogue being compared to David Gemmell as well, and that definitely comes out in some of the energy. And I definitely see the Lamb as well. So Orhan comes to Shira Yulun, and this is the stage for the story. It's built into the narrative, well, rather expertly. It's done very simply, but works well. And this is a border city. It controls the way into the Mongolian Empire, and it is, a polity, of course, at odds with the Steppe Kingdom. Pretty much the Steppe Kingdom being more like Mongolia and Wulongan being, China. What makes Orhan protected in this case, though, as why would he be protecting a Wulongan city? Well, that's a promise, an oath that he made to an old friend named Ong Sechin. He is now aged, but Orhan made a promise, and he's not going to go back on this. Along with this is a good secondary character, Fayin, the youngest wife of Ong Sechin. And we get some forbidden feelings involved with her character, but she's very likable and capable. And our villain is the shaman Kara Erke. He was exiled by Orhan and so wants to devour his soul. He's obviously separated from the other shamans that are a force for good, it seems, in general. And he teams with Jungar Khan, who leads a great armor. This is Orhan's blood brother. Both have something against Orhan. Jungar is really in the distance, though, and up front is Olgesar, I don't know, whose brother was also killed by Orhan, and he is one of the cronies, pretty much, of this bad shaman in this story. It feels kind of largely historical at times. It's not a complaint. The story is very gripping, but there is definitely fantasy that comes in. Right, and it properly re-enchants the reader, and is very dark and gruesome, and it's particularly with this shaman stuff, and it does get pretty dark, I think. So it reminds me somewhat of a little bit of a, not exactly, but if you liked something like A Legend by David Gemmell, I think you'd probably enjoy this. It's shorter. It doesn't get as much into I'm going to do this and inspire a bunch of people, but I'm going to do this because I made a promise. So, which is good in of itself. The story, though, in some sense is more epic than many of your sword and sorcery tales, or at least grander in scale, maybe not epic, but so are some of the old Conan yarns, right? That sit kind of at a larger scale, but very focused in this, right? We would get these big battles mostly because Conan is the king or something like that. So, again, very focused, like Sword and Sorcery tends to be. We also get flashbacks to young slave Orhan, which are very interesting and well done. And overall, I feel like it's just a fun little novella on an impossible task with victory and defeat kind of working in tandem, and civilization and barbarism clashing and balancing each other out at the same time. Orhan shows he's powerful, but also caring and human, which makes him likable as a Sword and Sorcery character. And, they're not always caring or human, though a lot of them are. But overall, I'm very impressed with this one. I like that it's a longer work, and also that you get it with another work. And so the neat thing is that this Kickstarter, I guess it's on BackerKit technically, this crowdfunding campaign is happening right now. So you can actually go and support these two novellas, Walls of Shira Yulun and Waste Flowers, which I'll be, again, reviewing here soon. So anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum, you should check this one out. I'll catch you next time.